D23 got started with a bang. Yesterday, there was a lot of stuff getting announced. I mean, a ton. And of course, there's a lot of movies and TV series and stuff being shown. But we did have some stuff with games. And while I want to discuss that, there was one really big movie trailer that's going around right now that I wanted to talk about a little bit here. And hey, you know what? Simpsons fans, little hopeful today after what was said yesterday, maybe in reference to a classic game coming back in some form. Turns out people who are into TV and movies don't necessarily understand I'd say the overreaching secrecy in games, and hey, it can benefit us when they decide just to start saying stuff. So we'll look at all of that and more. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. As I mentioned, things escalated quickly yesterday with D23 opening, and obviously the big one, Kingdom Hearts 4. It was shown again, and they had much more to say here. One, they showed us Coco, which is a franchise within Disney. And I say that because it's after my time from when I was watching Disney movies, obviously when I was a lot younger. But I will say, while it's not one I'm very familiar with, when we were at Disney on Ice with the kids over the last few years, Coco was one of the things that they did the skating and stuff around, and it got a big reaction from the crowd. So I do recognize it as, okay, yeah, this is a popular series within Disney, and I know they're going to do a new movie for it that was shown off. But it going into Kingdom Hearts, I will say the world, because it's very bright and colorful, it plays into Kingdom Hearts very, very well here. They showed the new Keyblade for Sora. Sora's do it like rail grinding around and stuff. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool world then to explore for Kingdom Hearts 4. But they showed Sora, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy were in there. Although they showed it looked like Sora in a party without either of them. So I guess you can have multiple guest characters taking up those slots, and maybe they're off doing something else at the time. Not that I don't know if you're going to go off and control them separately, but it shows there are going to be some gaps, I guess, in the story where they're not necessarily around, at that point. But now, obviously, people are wondering what other worlds could be in Kingdom Hearts 4. And I guess that's part of the fun, is just trying to speculate and figure it out. And that's really, I'd say, big reveals even for Square Enix then to have throughout the rest of this year and then into next year, because late 2027 for Kingdom Hearts 4. That's big for a few reasons. Now, if we see some other big worlds being revealed, like I saw Moana get brought up, I understand that is a big property for Disney, so it wouldn't shock me if they worked that universe in. Star Wars is the one I want to see. I just want to see how they approach it. And then obviously, man, a lightsaber keyblade is like a license to print money with merchandise, isn't it? But I think that'd be such an interesting world to see clash with Kingdom Hearts. Force powers, the whole thing. There's so much stuff they could do there. It almost feels overwhelming, and it'd be too much for what would I don't think I'd build out a massive world within Star Wars to explore. Probably one single planet, and even there, one section off part of that planet. But it would just be interesting to get a window into that universe with Kingdom Hearts and their take on it. But late 2027, so good news for Kingdom Hearts fans. One, you at least know that the game is going to be coming out in the next, I don't know, 14 months or so. I imagine it's going to be out by November of next year. Okay, so you have the countdown clock. It's ticking now. But two, it's setting up a really, really big 2027 for Square Enix. See, they're going multi-platform with these big releases, whereas before they may partner with Sony and do timed exclusivity for some of these properties, whether it's like Final Fantasy VII. Now they have Final Fantasy VII Revelation coming up. That's just multi-platform across the board. All right. And then Kingdom Hearts 4. So they start the year with a big tentpole title with Revelation, and they close out with a big tentpole title with Kingdom Hearts 4. Both of these games on all different platforms, all at once, day one. These should be two really big selling games for Square Enix then, and they should do very, very well. And as we saw with their most recent quarter, it does seem that they're figuring things out. They're doing better than they were in the previous year, and Square was in kind of a weird position a couple years ago, and I think they're really digging their way out of that hole, and I think they're going to become pretty strong over the next couple of years. I don't know if they'll get to Capcom status, because Capcom is just going crazy right now, but I think they'll be in a much, much better shape, by we'll even say 2028 or 2029, starting up there. But we should have a Kingdom Hearts panel. It's happening here in a couple of hours after this video goes live. And I assume they're just going to talk more about what was shown in the trailer. maybe do some teases, some hinting here and there as to what could be coming up for Kingdom Hearts 4. The thing I would love to see come out of this, if they're going to announce anything, is I feel like many people who see Kingdom Hearts 4 right now are either going to have a pull to go back to some of the older Kingdom Hearts games or even approach them for the first time. I know we've seen these games ported and moved over and over and over again. I would have liked to have seen them announce like a, although it probably won't be out by the time Kingdom Hearts 4 releases, like a remaster remake of the first Kingdom Hearts. That one, it's still a cool game. I get it, and it was awesome for its time. It's aging, is what I'll say. I don't even think the visuals necessarily have aged like terribly, but there's like controls, the way the worlds are built at times. It has that very early PS2 era kind of written all over. So I wouldn't mind them going back, touching it up some, and doing another release, yes, of Kingdom Hearts 1. I think 2 is just significantly better. And then we also had a Kingdom Hearts animated series, which is an original anime that's, of course, inspired by the game. They said it's coming to Disney Plus and then also the Disney Channel. So I guess it'll just be on TV. And yeah, they have Nomura, who's along with Square Enix's creative team. So that'd be kind of interesting to see how that one goes. They just said coming soon. They didn't put a release date or anything on it. So I imagine, I don't know if they're going to close out the year with it, maybe, but otherwise they'll start, I'm sure, 2027, and it'll be a way for them to build up to Kingdom Hearts 4 releasing. And the thing that is interesting about this, it kind of shows that Disney is viewing Kingdom Hearts as more than just a video game franchise. Like, I know they've done merchandise and other things. This kind of looks like, hey, this is a world that we can continue building out outside of just having to make a game every time. And I think that's big for Kingdom Hearts, especially if you're like fans of the game franchise. All of a sudden, I'm sure there's just more lore and things to discuss and dive into. So good news there. We had a new Simpsons movie. Like, that's what it's called, the new Simpsons movie that was announced. They didn't have as much to show. There was like a early animation sneak peek of it. And that's fine. I mean, it was like really early. It wasn't even fully animated. They were like a baseball game, and that's fine. But as this was all going on, there was also like a Simpsons panel. Empire was posting on social media as this was happening, where he was asked about Simpsons Hit and Run, right? And he says, I think the original game is coming back in some form. Of course, not even thinking about how it is with gaming, where man, everything's a secret in video games. Don't say anything, and it's kind of annoying to a degree. I'm sure for a lot of us it is, because like it's really got to be that secretive, because games get canceled all the time, and it's easier just not say anything. And then if it gets canceled, you don't have to explain to anyone as to why. But in this case, it would be more, I think, of like a remaster. I don't know if they're doing a new one. I figure they're going back, going to touch it up somewhat and then release it, because the game is still a lot of fun. And if it's presented more as a remaster, you wouldn't have expectations even being sky high if it was going to be a brand new one. But the current showrunner did cut in there, Matt Selman, and was like, or not. So it sounds like maybe he went, oh man, I got to kind of save this a bit here. So I do believe that we're going to see Simpsons Hit and Run make a return. And you know what? It's funny, if you look at New Radical Games on their website, they do still advertise some of their older titles they worked on, and Simpsons Hit and Run is one of them. And they are currently in the market to pitch remasters. It kind of lines up, I will admit. Like they showed up pretty recently too. I think last year. So maybe they got contracted for this, and they are they're doing a I don't want to say quick and dirty remaster, but like a decent enough remaster just to get it out there and maybe have it run alongside of the Simpsons movie, which is releasing September 3rd, 2027. You know, I hadn't even realized that that's 20 years since the Simpsons movie had first released. And it's crazy to think it's really been 2 decades since then. I remember going to see that movie in theaters, and it was just, at that time, it's like, man, they finally made a Simpsons movie. It took forever. And now here we are, again, 20 years later, like, oh, they're finally making another Simpsons movie. Man, it's just, I can't believe that show is still going. What are they on, season 40 or something? I remember back in the day when it would only release on Thursdays. Yeah, kind of old. But the last thing I want to, it's not a gaming technically, although who knows, maybe, you know, things will spin off from here, and certain heroes get more popular and they get their own game. We'll see here, but Avengers Doomsday new trailer. It's about 2 minutes long, and it looks crazy. It does. So it already had 18 million views last I checked, 12 hours since it released. So yeah, people are pretty hyped, pretty interested in this. X-Men all over the big screen on this one. They also showed Shang-Chi. So I really liked that movie, The Ten Rings. I think that was pretty good. And so he is now more involved, it looks like, with the Avengers, which is great. And there's just so much mystery still around Doctor Doom. I mean, they told us a while ago now that Robert Downey Jr. was playing Doctor Doom, so speculation went crazy from there as to how exactly that lines up. Is it just an evil Tony Stark from another universe? Obviously, we see them really diving into the multiverse stuff. If you look at, I mean, they really opened the door before, but with the Loki series, they really tried to explain how this was all going to work. And the thing with multiverse is it sort of gives them a get out of jail free card to do whatever they want. And that could include killing off key characters because, oh, we can then also figure out a way to bring them back. And you can have universes crashing into other universes. And you can, as we saw with Spider-Man, right? Where they do Spider-Man No Way Home and they have all the different, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, the other Spider-Man in there with a different villain. So there's just, it gives them free reign to just go crazy and set up kind of the fantasy booking, with superheroes from the past. But man, Doctor Doom is super powerful in this one. He's been pretty powerful before in different instances with comics. I see people sharing around all the time where he just absolutely destroys Thanos, like rips his skeleton out. So this seems like we're gonna be dealing with an over the top, almost god level power for Doctor Doom. And then even at the end of the trailer, he just calls up a bunch of Sentinels, and the whole thing looks super dark in tone. And obviously they're trying to play into, so they're gonna have Doomsday and then they're gonna do Secret Wars. And you feel like because they're conjoined, like Doctor Doom's gonna win at the end of this one. It'll kind of be like with Endgame, where we had a bad ending that then went into them kind of redeeming and then winning at the end. So I assume Doctor Doom is just gonna go crazy, just annihilate everything around him. And I'm interested to see how they, I guess, work all this together with the multiverse stuff with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. And there, as I mentioned, there's a lot of speculation still. And so people are really concerned right now because they did show Wolverine. Well, they showed Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. So Deadpool and Wolverine appear to be part of the movie. There's this leaked synopsis going around for the plot. And people are getting concerned that things they're seeing, whether it's in the trailer or even that, is lining up. I almost wonder, though, because it's difficult nowadays to trick the internet. I almost wonder if a good way to do it is to put out a fake synopsis that will kind of line up with things they're doing, whether it's in the trailer or even just that. I mean, it looked like it was off the cuff, like, hey, let's just tell people that Wolverine and Deadpool are going to be in this movie. And it'll kind of throw everyone off as we go towards the release, which is December 18th. So we're still 4 months away from this thing. And I assume there's going to be another trailer or two just to get people hyped up and do some more reveals. But that's a way to get people talking, to speculate, thinking you have all the answers going in, and then it just completely throws a curveball at you. I almost wonder if that's the move right now, and that's what they're doing. But man, so I saw Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I liked it. It was fine. But I'll admit I was kind of looking past it towards Doomsday because I just think that is going to be like a massive, massive experience, and obviously a big turning point for the current MCU, which then they would probably, I guess, try to tie up some loose ends over the next year then with whether it's series that are popping up on Disney Plus, or I don't know if there are any other movies that are set up between Doomsday and Secret Wars for theaters. Man, it's looking good, though. I'm pretty excited to see how that works out. Again, there's a lot of other stuff that got announced. These are some of the things I picked out. Let me know what you guys thought about day one of D23. Even if there were some things I didn't mention, let me know down in the comments what you thought overall for everything that was shown. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.